Good evening, and thanks everyone for coming out tonight. I call to order the regular council meeting of Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. Let's do a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's cute. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Village Attorney Serafan. Mr. Serafan, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Seems like it's a little delayed. I can hear you now. Interim Village Manager Scott.
Here. I hear echo.
Councilmember Birch.
Present.
Councilmember St. Fleur.
Present.
Councilmember Wagner.
Present.
Vice Mayor Marenberg.
Here.
Mayor Harris.
Present.
You have quorum.
Thank you. Okay, since is the auditors here? No? Okay, so we'll go on to, first I want to say happy Pride Month. The flags look great. Thank you. I'll start with the special recognition to Doctors Charter School Silver Knight nominees. It's Dr. Asier Beto here, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and esteemed Village Council. Thank you so much for having me and my wonderful students here. Doctors Charter School of Miami Shores has had an excellent academic and albeit modified athletic program this year despite the COVID-19 pandemic. I am pleased to report to the village that our school received a letter from U.S. Senator Scott recognizing DCS as being one of the best high schools in our country. According to U.S. News and World Report, in the state of Florida, we ranked number 79, number 27 in Dade County, while ranking 1,317 in the country. Our teachers and students have been working very hard. Our attendance rate during the pandemic has been anywhere from 95 to 97%. This year, we will have a 100% graduation rate. And we are thrilled to have the Honorable Daniela Levine Cava, Mayor of Miami-Dade County, as our keynote speaker at Friday's graduation. Tonight, I felt it was important for the council and our village to meet some of our finest students and to recognize their achievements. Tonight, I ask Kara Semmelfort to the podium and Mr. Chiale Oji. And we have our Mr. Briggins, who will join us at the podium now. Tonight, we recognize Mr. Tiala Briggins and Ms. Cara Semmelfort, two of our seniors who were recognized as Silver Knight nominees. Ms. Semmelfort for the Athletic Scholarship and Mr. Briggins for the General Scholarship. Mr. Briggins was also a runner-up and received the scholarship of $500. Ms. Semmelfort will be graduating from DCS with an associate's degree from MDC.
Nice.
And both students have taken advanced placement courses as well as dual enrollment courses at MDC and also at Barry University. Both students have attended DCS since 6th grade. Wow. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Briggins and Ms. Summerford.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me here and celebrating us and our accomplishments.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for them at this point? Do you have any questions for them at all?
No, not for them, no.
But I do have something to say. I wanted to congratulate you all on your great accomplishment. This is just wonderful. It's unprecedented. We are terribly proud of you, terribly proud of you. And know that whatever you do next, we'll be proud that you came from DCF because it's such a gem in our community. And when folks like you come out of it, we burst with pride. So thank you for all of your hard work. We appreciate you and we commend you for all that you've accomplished. But you have so much more to go. So congratulations.
Madam Mayor?
We have some certificates for the two of them. Congratulations.
Madam Mayor?
Yeah. Go ahead, Alice. Councilperson Alice.
Madam Mayor, fellow council members, students, and I'm not sure if I said your first names, they would be correct, but I celebrate you and your achievements. The fact you have been among the first of Doctors Charter School's Silver Knight nominees, and that you have had the experience of being out there with the best students in the county at one of the best charter schools in Miami-Dade County. And you've attended ever since sixth grade. I'm just bursting, as Councilwoman said already, we are just bursting with pride. We want you to know that we celebrate you tonight wholeheartedly and are very proud. Thank you.
Hello. On behalf of the residents, the council, and the city of Miami Shores, we want to recognize your achievement. Doctors Charter is the pride, the gem of our community, and we appreciate students such as yourself for Kiara Summerford in recognition of your success. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Look over. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Our next two superstars are Ms. Kira Mercado and Mr. Alejandro Ortiz, two of our 8th grade students who are world champions in the middle division for both the Sphero Robot Global Challenge and the Sphero Bolt Space Mission. They are accompanied today by their teacher, Mr. Schofield, and their families. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could just come up here, and Mr. Schofield too. These two students are avid computer aficionados and are considering taking AP Computer Science at Doctors Charter School, which is not an easy course. So tonight, I wanted to share with the village and the council their award as world champions and also their recognition as first place in the Bolt Space mission. So,
Wow.
Thank you so much for having us and celebrating our achievements.
Thank you for just appreciating this work, and we hope that you are able to sort of just appreciate in general the new field of computer science Thank you.
Thank you.
So this was a very tough challenge because they were both at home the entire time. And as the coach, I couldn't do anything to help them. I was not allowed to help them. They taught themselves everything.
Kira and Alejandro, I'm very proud of you.
They know now, man.
And may I add this as
You can
well?
hear me, but the audio is very skippy.
Yes, we heard you. Thank you. Councilperson Wong.
Yes, thank you. Alejandro and Kara, well done. I'd like to hear about your robots. I want to know what did they do? So first, Alejandro, tell me, what did your robot do? Tell me more about that, please.
Well, the robot is surprisingly simple looking. Well, it really is complicated to work. It really is just a 3D sphere, coated by sort of plexiglass with a little bit of basically sensors and circuits. It looks really simple, but you have to actually create the code to make it move, sense things. And so we took sort of this simple object and we were able to use our imaginations to create amazing creations, amazing solutions to the missions they give us. So
that's wonderful. And Kara?
Yeah, so it's just a simple sphere-shaped robot, and you can code it to sense light, and you can have it project colors and animations. And we played around with all of those things to create imaginative codes and programs. And yes.
Well, I'd like to say how proud I am. We are actually of all of you, both of you. But Kira, young ladies in STEM and in science and in roboting, all that, keep going, keep going. So wonderful. Proud of both of you. Please keep going. We want to show other young girls that this is something that they're able to do too. So just super proud of both of you. And thank you for sharing what you did. I appreciate it. We all appreciate you. Very proud.
Yes, we're very proud of you guys. On behalf of the residents, the council, and all of Miami Shores, we would like to show you a certificate of our appreciation. Alejandro. See? Yeah, thank you.
And thank you to the village council members and Madam Mayor for supporting our school. Thank you very much.
Is the auditors here yet?
They are here. They're here, and the Finance Director, Holly Hogdahl, is here to introduce them.
Oh, great.
I would like to introduce Mr. Enrique Lorena, who is our partner in charge of our audit, so that he can go over the results of the comprehensive annual financial report for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2020.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you. I said thank you.
Good evening. Thank
Yes,
you very
sir.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here to present our reports that are included in the village's financial statements for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2020. I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in. Everyone.
Sir, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Better? Take off the mask?
If it's safe to do, sure.
Is that better?
Yeah, are you okay? You
Yeah.
safe?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Stay
It was
safe.
more of a precaution for everyone in the room, not me. So I'll go ahead and jump right in. For the record, my name is Enrique Llerena, and I served as the engagement partner on the audit of the village's financial statements for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2020. If you turn to page 1 of the comprehensive annual financial report, here you find our independent auditor's report, and I'll just walk you through that report. At the top of that report on page 1, you'll see report on financial statements. This paragraph discusses the items that we audited, And it states that we have audited the accompanying financial statements of the village as of and for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2020, and the related notes to the financial statements, which collectively comprise the village's basic financial statements as listed in the table of contents. This section is followed by management's responsibility, and it states that management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. Our responsibility as your auditor is to express opinions on these financial statements based on our audit. And we conducted our audit in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America, as well as government auditing standards. The opinion paragraph is close to the bottom of this page, and here you see an example of an unmodified opinion, the only kind of opinion that you will want to be associated with. And it states that in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the governmental activities, the business type activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the village as of September 30th, 2020. Our independent auditor's report is followed by management's discussion and analysis that's contained on pages 3 through 12 of this document. If there's one section of this document that you read, it should be this. This section contains information about the village and the results for the year, and it compares those results to the prior year, and it explains to you in plain English what changed and why. So it's very easy for the users to follow and understand what transpired during the year. This is dated information because it is for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2020, so I'm not going to get into specific numbers. I'm going to continue presenting our reports that are included in the document. The compliance section, which contains the remainder of our reports, begins on page 104 of the document. It's close to the end. This section here in the back, it starts off with our independent auditor's report on internal control over financial reporting and on compliance and other matters. This is commonly referred to as our yellow book report. And in essence, what it reports back to the readers of the financials, it reports any issues related to internal control over financial reporting or compliance and other matters. There's two bolded headings on this report that allows the reader to follow the flow. And we would have reported to you any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses that we needed to report as it relates to the results of our audit. And we're pleased to note that we did not have any findings to bring to your attention at this time. This report is followed by a required communication letter. It's the management letter required by section 10.550 Rules of the Auditor General. And if you turn to page 107, this is the second page of this letter. Under the financial condition and management heading, on the second paragraph there, we have an opportunity to communicate to you as those charged with governance any items that relate to improvements in financial management that did not rise to the level of a significant deficiency or material weakness, but it would still warrant communication to you as those charged with governance. We're pleased to know that we did not have any such recommendations. We would also have an opportunity to communicate to you any non-compliance that occurred with provisions of contracts and grant agreements, again, that doesn't rise to the level of a significant deficiency or material weakness, but it would be like an opportunity for improvement. And we're also pleased to know that we did not have anything to report related to this section. The last item that I'm going to cover is the communication to those charged with governance that's provided at conclusion of the audit. It's a standard letter that we provide that reminds some of the key terms of our engagement with you, as well as it allows us to give you almost like a report card in terms of how it was dealing with management and how everything transpired during the audit. And if you notice at the bottom of the first page, we highlighted if there were any difficulties encountered throughout the audit. And on the second page, we would report to you any disagreements that we had with management. I'm pleased to note that we did not have any disagreements. It was a pleasure working with Holly, Sarah, and the rest of the team. And I'd actually like to take this opportunity to thank them for all their help throughout the process. If they weren't so responsive and providing information timely to what we needed, we wouldn't have been able to complete what we needed to complete. This concludes my presentation. I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
I have a question. Good afternoon. And I read the document, and like I told Holly, who is the city's financial director, for those who does not know, that there's great work here. Thank you, Holly, and your team and the audit team. But I would like to know, how long have your firm been auditing Miami Shore's finances, your actual firm?
The latest, I've been a partner with the firm since 2016. And I took over as a partner on this engagement, I want to say in 2017. So since 2017, I've been the engagement partner. The prior partner that served as the engagement partner has been the quality control partner ever since. And element of unpredictability is an important component to what we do. It's required by professional standards. So not only do we traditionally rotate the partner and change the requirements in terms of I'll serve as the engagement partner, maybe then I'll switch and be the quality control partner in engagement. But there's been turnover and change within the team. So it's not always the same in charge that runs the audit.
Okay, that was my concern.
Yes, we absolutely incorporate an element of unpredictability, not only in the selection of our procedures, but also in the team that we send to the field. It's common practice for us every few years to change the in charge and have different team members.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
I just have two questions for you. And I'm not an auditor and I'm definitely not a financial person. So I just have some questions to understand. On your independent auditor's report, page 1, other matters, required supplementary information.
Yes.
You noted that you did you applied limited procedures to the required supplementary information. And is there a reason that it was limited or?
It's the standards. So you have 3 levels of assurance. You have the audit that's performed. Then you have supplementary information that we give in relation to opinion. And then you have required supplementary information that needs to be included, but we're not required to audit it. So what we do with that required supplementary information is we look at it to ensure that there isn't anything glaring that's inconsistent. As an example of that information, it's your budget to actual that's presented right after the financial statements and footnotes. So it defines the level of responsibility so the user understands what the audit addressed and what it related to. And again, a standard practice of the industry.
Thank you. And then the only other question I had is it's just more of a procedural question. So the fiscal year ends September 30th. I'm assuming the books get closed maybe sometime in October. I don't know how long it takes to close the books for the month of September. And here we are in I guess, June 1st already. Seems like there's a long period of time between the end of the fiscal year and the actual audit report being issued. Is there anything we can do to shorten that time so we can get the audit closer to end of the fiscal year?
So standard practice is the year end is September 30th. Typically municipalities take about 60 days. It really relates back to your period of availability for when you recognize revenue at the fund level. So it's normal course. By middle of December, books and records are available. And then it's a matter of ironing out and ensuring that other records are available, that the scheduling fits, that there isn't anything significant pending with any kind of grant or what have you. The state requirement actually is for your financial information to be filed by June 30th. So you have plenty of time in advance that you're providing the information. Since the village prepares a comprehensive annual financial report, you have a GFOA requirement to submit this information. Their deadline would be March 31st. And they can provide subsequent extensions up to that June 30th timing, depending on the information. So to answer your question directly, we're served at the pleasure of the village. If the village wants to do it sooner, Holly does an excellent job preparing all the information, having a binder ready. So if we want to accelerate that time frame, we can. That's not a problem.
It seems like there's a timeline set out and we're perfectly on time with it though. So that's.
No, absolutely. And by the way, just because this information, you're receiving it now, it doesn't mean that we don't have active communication throughout the year. So yes, we are presenting this now, but any current difficult to record transaction, any issues that your management team is facing, we're available at any time to answer questions, and Holly can attest to that. We have a very open communication throughout the year because it's in our best interest and the client's best interest to be informed up front so we don't have to correct things when we come to the audit. It's a matter of, it's better to talk about it up front. So by the time we get a final trial balance, all the necessary adjustments have been implemented. So it's part of our process to not only when we come in and do our planning earlier, but throughout the year to check in and ensure that gets done.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Is there a motion to approve the report?
I'll move to approve.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the report, Madam Mayor.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Sir. Thank you. At this point, we'll have public comments. Remember, if you submitted any e-comments, we have read them. Limit your comments to 2 minutes, please, and state your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lou Perez, 145 Northeast 103rd Street. Madam Mayor, Council, staff. Miami Shores PD speed enforcement for our major thoroughfares is non-existent. This past Saturday night, some of you that live in the area may have heard somewhere around 11:15 p.m., which I personally witnessed, over 100 vehicles speeding and racing westbound on Northeast 103rd. At times, these vehicles were occupying the oncoming eastbound lanes of 103rd Street as they were heading westbound. So they were going against traffic and with traffic, but they were all the traffic. These people were speeding at high rates of speed in loud cars. Basically, I'm sure they were just partying, but this was over 100 vehicles. I got on the phone as I was standing there on the sidewalk watching this with Miami Shores PD, spoke with an officer dispatching, and the officer indicated that they were getting many calls on this because they had been traveling throughout some of the other areas in the village. This went on for several minutes, over 10 minutes, an ongoing speeding bash of cars. Not one police car showed up in the area that I was at on Northeast 103rd Street. For a number of years now, residents have heard mention of a dedicated traffic enforcement unit. This was supposed to have been taking place late 2019, early 2020. Of course, we know what happened in 2020, right? Nothing has happened about this. Nothing has ever been done. It's been blamed on things like manpower allocation, no funding, COVID, of course, and many other excuses. Madam Mayor and Council, this is unacceptable. The speeding into and around the shores is increasing with loud cars, and these cars are traveling always at high rates of speed. You can time it in the afternoon between the hours of right before 4 p.m., heading westbound, speeding. In the morning, the same way, in the morning traffic rush hour. Mayor, Council, and Council, this problem needs to be addressed once and for all. We need to actually have law enforcement, traffic law enforcement, by actually placing speed signs that take place and handing out citations, not just talking about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jimmy Stobbs, 126 Northeast 109th Street. Madam Mayor, fellow councilmen, I hope you received my email this afternoon, giving you a little background information about a next door post that I put up last week, informing Miami Shores residents of the recent council actions, and also informing them that several high-ranking officials have recently all retired at the same time. I urge the residents to speak up, get involved, and pay attention. Within minutes, I was attacked by many residents. I was called a racist, a homophobe, against inclusion and diversity. However, instead of diffusing and de-escalating the situation as an elected official, the Vice Mayor, Dan Marenberg, posted a formal name, home address, and place of employment for a J. Robert Stobbs. Mr. Marenberg thought it was my personal information. However, it was my father's. I immediately sent a private message to Mr. Marenberg asking him to take it down. He refused. I believe Mr. Marenberg's intentions were very clear. He was trying to threaten, intimidate, target, and ultimately incite violence against me, simply because he didn't agree with my post. As a lifelong Miami Shores resident, I have kept up with the actions of City Hall. I have every right to post information and an opinion. Mr. Marenberg doesn't think I have that right. Now, because I feel I'm in imminent danger, I obtained a police information report with the police department, who have put surveillance on my house, my father's house, and his business. I filed a complaint with the Miami-Dade Ethics Commission I notified next door, who has suspended Mr. Marenberg for his actions. Mr. Marenberg's behavior was unethical and unbecoming of an elected official. This has no place in Miami Shores Village or anywhere in the United States of America. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
And Madam Mayor, I know it's unusual to comment, but I would, given the personal nature of the comments, if there's no other public comments or when they're done, I would like to respond to that.
Next comment, please. I'm thinking about that and I just don't want to make it worse. Sir.
Good evening. Robert Menji, 1102 Northeast 105 Street. I am concerned about comments made on social media that are affecting our community. And a lot of the comments that are being fueled by people outside of the community who really don't have a stake in what we do here. But their input and their involvement is having an effect on our community and our stability. If they're not from here, that needs to be identified on the social media. I mean, we all have a stake here. We pay our taxes, we live here, and you are here to support us. It's not fair if people from outside cause antagonistic or actions that really try to breed fear and, tell you the truth, paranoidism. And I think it's totally inappropriate. I know that when someone is on the top, everybody wants to take them down. We are on the top. We are Miami Shores, and you represent us. Please take into consideration the paranoia that's going on in social media that the people really here are reading it. It's not appropriate. We have survived for a long time. And I think it's up to all of us to try to get to the facts and not really get involved in the social media comments that really have no relevance to what we're trying to do here for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any further comments? With that, I'll close public comments, please.
If the council would like for me to read that into the record.
Yes, thank you.
It's from Damon Stinson at 236 Northeast 103rd Street. 2 nights ago, yet another accident occurred at the intersection of Northeast 103rd Street and 2nd Avenue. And sadly, for the second time in 2 years, a vehicle went airborne, took out entire sections of tree canopy before finally landing in a neighboring resident yard and catching fire. Please take action to bring this dangerous intersection to safety. Police presence and flashers do indicate reduced lanes and school zones are necessary. We're also reaching out to FDOT. Please do the same. We cannot continue to have people die in our yards, not to mention the property damage and limitation of use out of fear for the utter disregard for the law these motorists have. Half of the section of road is in a school zone most of the year that is never patrolled and constantly violated by speeding motorists. My son and I were nearly struck 2 months ago while walking to school when a vehicle decided to ignore the pleading cross guard, who does a wonderful job, by the way, and went up into a crosswalk to get around in the school zone. Imagine living in Miami Shores and having an apprehension about walking your child to school due to public safety concerns. That's now where we are as a village. I understand it's the end of the school year, but we're asking for the village to install flashing lights at both the merge sign on Northeast 103rd eastbound before the right lane ends on Northeast 2nd, and at all the school zones along Northeast 103rd. We believe flashing lights along with increased law enforcement will help improve the situation short term. Long term, our solution, I feel, is to getting back to being a village. Over the last 9 years, I've watched a quiet, well-patrolled municipality turn into an extension of downtown Miami. There's too much growth all around the village. We need to protect and patrol our infrastructure. Folks bought here because the village is not Brickell or Miami Beach. Let's get back to being a family or a faith-oriented community the vast majority of us desire. This concludes e-comments, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, next item.
Madam Mayor, do you want me to respond now, or are we going to wait until
Go ahead,
council
Dan.
comments?
It's
up to you.
You want to respond? Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I'll make it short and quick here. And I'm only responding because unfortunately it was a direct comment against me that was made and was actually inaccurate information, as I guess is to be expected. I do not have a suspended account off this social platform. They did not suspend it, so that is incorrect. And there was no information posted that was insightful in any way. There was public information about the construction company that is doing work on our library, which was mentioned in the post. Somebody was questioning who owns it. The post indicated who is the president and what is the address according to the Secretary of State. That is what's on the post. I do have screenshots. I'm happy to talk to any residents that are concerned or have heard about this. I have screenshots of it. Other residents claiming this is silly discussion on the part of Mr. Stobbs that he deleted it 3 times, did not want to have the actual truth appear out there. I would challenge Mr. Stobbs to go ahead and post publicly whatever he has because I'm available to talk about it, as I have those comments as well. So that's the nature of it. I think that if there's discussion on social media, I've always been encouraging that discussion to be civil discussion. We haven't had that. I have refrained from giving my opinion on matters. I've asked questions and I've tried to give factual information out there. So again, if there is something that is factual, Secretary of State information, I don't see that that is something that should be of concerning, especially for businesses that are applying for work and permitting within our own community on our buildings. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Okay. Oh, public comments are over, sir. You've already.
Public comments are over, and you don't want to appreciate.
Thank you, sir.
Item 6A, appointment to the Library Board of Trustees. There's 1 vacancy. The village clerk's office received 1 application from Nancy Frayling. The clerk's office opened the application process about a month ago, advertised it on social media, the village website, and asked the village council to use word of mouth advertising. I do believe Ms. Nancy Frayling is here to introduce herself. May you please approach the lectern?
I moved to Miami Shores 9 years ago. I grew up in Miami and Miami Beach and realized that I wanted to find the community that I once knew on Miami Beach when I was a young girl. I love the shores. My daughter lives 3 blocks away. My son lives 10 blocks away in El Portal, and we've really found a new home. I retired this past year. I used to work like a crazy person and found that I've got the time to give back. And I have always loved libraries. I visit them around the world. I believe in the mission of a library. I believe in reading. I believe in the access of information that the library offers to people of all ages. I'm excited that the library is expanding. I've taken my own grandchildren there, and I know the programs are wonderful, and I would like to participate.
Thank you for volunteering to participate.
Mayor. Yes, Madam Mayor, I would like to thank Nancy Frayling, our candidate for the Library Board of Trustees. I would like to go ahead and propose her name and with enthusiasm that she's willing to serve, to volunteer in this capacity.
Is there a second?
I happily second that nomination.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Welcome and thank you for serving. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I hope to do a good job and make a contribution to the shores.
You will. Thank you.
Item 7A, a resolution of the Village Council of Miami Shores Village, Florida, creating budget amendment number 2 to the fiscal year 2020-2021 operating budgets, appropriating $88,000 from the local option gas tax fund balance for the construction, engineering, and inspections of the 96th Street Roadway Improvement Project, joint partnership agreement grant project. This item is brought forth by the Finance Director.
This budget amendment is...
Introduce yourself and your name.
Oh, Holly Hudell, the Finance Director.
Thank you.
This budget amendment is brought forward to increase the amount that has been budgeted for our share of this project, which is being done by grant. and this will complete our share. And it's coming out of the Logit Fund, so it's not going to affect our operating budget.
Okay. Any questions from council? Okay. Any motions?
I move to approve 7A.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It looks like we might have lost Council Member Birch. Oh, she's back. She wasn't on for the vote, but I don't know if you need to retake the.
Did you, vote. All in favor for 7A? Raise your hand.
Councilmember Birch, if you could unmute your microphone so we can hear you, we greatly appreciate it.
Or else. Just get your thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm having a little technical difficulty, but I'll.
We hear you.
I
You got it. All in favor for 7A?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Item 8A, discussion and possible action requesting approval to hire the engineering firm Kimley Horn to assist with the FEMA firm map appeal for a total lump sum fee of $34,500. Staff on this item is the Planning and Zoning Director.
Sir.
Hi, good evening. Travis Kendall, Planning and Zoning. So yes, the item before you, we being staff went back and did a review with the county and established and identified all the issues and areas which we can actually appeal the firm map, which obviously there's some concerns with here in the village. And in the process of doing so and speaking with them, in working with us, like I said, we identified those areas, but they will be unable due to the workload within the county to support us during the appeal period. And even though they are giving us the data and the data sets and are assisting us in identifying all of the technical issues which are ongoing with the FEMA flood map as it's been proposed, really we're running into an issue where when it comes to the actual review, when the maps are finalized, which hasn't happened yet, so we still have the 90-day appeal period, we need to be able to be preemptive and ready to move forward with the appeal process. Part of the issue is, as well, which I had described previously, is that FEMA requires any appeals that are sent to them to be submitted by a certified engineer or a coastal engineer. And that's why we, being staff, went out and had a discussion with Kimley Horn as to the availability and costs associated with having members of their staff assist us with the actual appeals process so that we would be able to actually qualify for those specifics when we do the actual appeal. So that's what this item is before you, and staff is obviously making a recommendation to go out to this firm to assist us in that process.
Is Kimley Horn one of your pre-approved firms?
It is, yes.
Okay.
They're a continuing service provider.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Any questions of council?
I do have a question, Mr. Kendall. This is a complicated issue, and I'm very familiar with it. And it's also an important issue, right, to our village. And you're suggesting, or you're saying, and I agree, and it is a pre-approved firm, the assistance that they will provide will sort of help us with the process and getting to some sort of conclusion that, well, helping us get to the conclusion where we need to go. Is that, and this is what they have done for other municipalities as well?
Well, not specifically this appeal, but yes, they're coastal engineers in reviewing the data sets that have provided by FEMA. That yes, they have done this in the past to identify areas where there may be inconsistencies with models that have been provided in the past. Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
So this may sound not like a good question, but you're preparing for your appeal, but FEMA hasn't released their final map, right?
No, but what they have provided to us is the data sets which they've used to model those maps. So what the county has done, as well as what we've done, is to begin to disseminate the information and the actual numbers that they've given us. And they used a number of things having to do with flood elevations and the process by which they've established those new flood zone areas. And part of the review, which the county has assisted us in identifying, is the inconsistencies in that data, which is going to be used by them moving forward in presenting the maps in their final form. So the data which has been given to us will not change
That's what I was
in its
concerned
original
with.
form.
Okay.
It's just the response that we bring to them has to be certified, like the inconsistencies identified. So yes, that's what they're going to assist us with.
All right, that addressed my concern.
Madam Mayor? Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councilperson Birch.
I know, it's hard. Mr. Kendall, I had asked you this, I think once before, and you weren't sure. Are you any more sure of the number of homes that are affected between 91 and 107 streets, I believe is the area of the map that we're discussing? Do we have the number of residences that are affected by the FEMA flood map change?
For the houses which are west of Biscayne in that area, in the sort of I'll say the north central section, there's approximately 260 households which were not in the flood zone, which under the new flood maps will appear in a flood zone unless something is successfully appealed.
Okay, and I understand that these flood maps might not be redone again for some time. Is that true?
Well, generally, they're only done probably about every 10 or 15 years. It takes a while for them
10 or
to
15 years.
process it, right? Because again, they have to go through, they're looking at LiDAR, slosh models. There's a lot of data that goes into the generation of these things. And it's sort of like the comprehensive plan. They only update it, every 7 to 10 years periodically. So it's when they get to it. But yes, the firm maps are not updated frequently.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay, motions.
Madam Mayor, I'll move item 8A.
Any seconds?
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
There is a supplemental item, AB, that was brought forth by Mr. Benton. He's not present, but we do have the Recreation Director here to answer any questions. It's discussion and possible action regarding the 4th of July event.
Hi, good evening. Angela Dorney, Recreation Director. I'm happy to report that we were able to find a vendor to provide fireworks for us this year. So we will be providing fireworks July 4th, 9 p.m. at the Country Club. It was an unbudgeted item, but we were able to work it out.
Madam Mayor, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Dorney. So we're going to have the fireworks on the 4th. I'm excited. That's great. Is there going to be a plan? I know there's a light at the end of the tunnel with regard to COVID-19, but does Park and Recreations, I'm sure they do, have a plan for the layout? Because usually it's packed and it's a wonderful time. I'd like to kind of hear a little bit about what the plan is for, how?
We haven't really worked that out yet. We do have signage we ordered that will say you must stay 6 feet apart from the next family. But usually it's all along the golf course and most of the driving range. And we are going to open up the pool that evening also. So hopefully we can just tell people to spread out.
Mr. Attorney, Mr. Seraphin?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any value? I'm just trying to act with the abundance of caution and in the interest of the village. Is there any value to us having some signage with regard to social distancing, with regard to this event and, at your own risk? I'm not sure of the language I'm looking for, but I just want to make sure that it's clear. We want to have this event, but we will also want to make sure that people are still remaining safe. And thoughtful and mindful of each other. So if you have an opinion, you may not have an opinion on that, but I'm curious.
I understood Angie to say that they've already ordered some signage. We will, of course, comply with whatever the local
regulations may be at that time, whether it's CDC, whether it's county. But beyond that, I don't think that any signage, I wouldn't think much of any sort of lawsuit claiming that the village bears responsibility. It would be very difficult to prove anything like that. Plus, it's a clear assumption of the risk with or without a sign. So I don't think that needs to be added.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to be clear. Thank you.
Okay.
I would ask a question if I may, because it's a supplemental item. Was this just informational for the council, or is there something you need, Angie?
It's informational on my part.
Okay, so the money's already available and approved.
So we need to approve this, the council, tonight. This was not put in last year's budget because of the uncertainty of COVID. So,
But it is under the cap that goes to council.
which is true.
So what I think Angie's saying is that the manager has authority under our purchasing provisions to spend this money without council approval. If you'd like to give belt and suspenders and approve it now, that would be nice.
Madam Mayor, so, Angie, are you intending to announce this event with some protocols, in your social media blasts and things like that, so that people would be forewarned that we are respecting, COVID social distancing? And also, do you have a price? So since it's before us, we might as well know approximately what the cost is going to be.
So yes, we will be putting that in our advertising for social distancing requirements. And the cost is usually $14,000 per year. This last minute notice with a new company is $16,000, but they are offering us 150 more shells. So it's a bigger display in the same amount of time.
Great. Thank you.
Councilman Birch will understand where I'm going with this, but in the past, and I could be incorrect, but in the past, we have had some sponsorship dollars from our representative county commissioner. I don't know if you've approached our current county commissioner for either some matching funds or to help supplement the cost of this.
No, actually, we just made the deal this morning. So I was happy to find a company that would be willing to do it for us because it was really hard to find anybody in such short notice to provide fireworks, just because they are short-staffed also. But yes, we could seek some additional dollars.
In the past, we've received from there's been a donation. I
think there's been a private donation. And I think a few years ago, there was one from our representative, yes.
So I would ask the interim manager to please reach out to our current representative commissioner, Hardiman, to see if there's any funds that he would be amenable to donating to our 4th of July celebration.
Certainly.
As it has been done in the past.
I will.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions?
No question. I'm talking to Mr. Attorney Seraphine.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you suggesting that we not vote on this?
I don't think it's necessary, but it would be a nice thing if you would vote to approve it. That way, our new management personnel has belt and suspenders.
Especially in our manager situation where you come in or you go in, I'm not sure. So I'll move to pass this. Any second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. We're excited about it.
Next item is announcements. The next meeting of the Village Council will be held on June 15, 2021 at 9900 Northeast 2nd Avenue, beginning at 6:30 p.m. June is Pride Month. Throughout the month of June, Miami Shores Aquatic Center is hosting Laps for Pride Initiative. The Aquatic Center will report how many laps were swam during the month of June to commemorate the department's support of diversity and inclusiveness. We encourage each lap swimmer to use a user group to record laps daily at the Laps for Pride reporting area at the pool. How to participate, swim and keep count of your laps.
Be sure to record your name and laps at the reporting station located at the pool. And for more questions, you may contact the Recreation Department at 305-758-8103. And there's also Chalk It Up Rainbow Style. No way to better commemorate the birth of LGBTQ rights than creating artful chalk creations. Let's celebrate the most colorful event of the year. We invite Miami Shores residents of all ages and abilities to show off your creativity and help spread the message of positivity for your neighbors to set throughout the month of June. The first 50 participants can receive a set of colorful sidewalk chalk at the Recreation Community Center starting June 7th between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Submit your designs to villagrandj@msvfl.gov by June 25th so we can share some of the submissions on your social media page. Also, join us Thursday, Brockway Memorial Library for Haitian Heritage Art Exhibition. This will be from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Brockway Memorial Library. Works available for purchase. The exhibition will run the month of June for extended viewing. The building department opened back their doors throughout the main lobby of Village Hall. Permit clerks are excited and ready to welcome you back. There are also vacancies on the Doctors Charter School Board. There's also two vacancies on the Police Retirement Pension Board. Applications can be found on the village website and the clerk's office and will be accepted through Friday, June 11th. Miami-Dade County Public School has announced that Thornton Construction Company, Inc. was awarded a construction contract for the bond-funded renovations to Miami Shores Elementary valued at $7.4 million. Phase 1 of the project at Miami Shores Elementary will commence this month and expected to end on December 2022. After completion of the project, the school will have a new 5-classroom building addition with 116 additional student stations. The scope of work includes a new PE shelter, roof replacement of the media center, new energy management system, replacement of the drinking fountains and restrooms renovation, new park spaces, and select interior paint. Would you rather receive the newsletter via email? Simply enter your email address in the sign-up field located above the home button and click on the monthly newsletter. The communications specialist will take care of the rest. But please remember to visit the village website for more information on village events, departments, and to sign up to receive agenda notifications. Next item is council comments.
Councilman St. Fleur, you have any comments? No. Councilwoman Webb? No.
Yeah, I do have comments. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I wanted to thank village administration for putting up our pride flags for this month in celebration of not just Pride Month, but in celebration of some of our residents living here in the shores. I'd also like to thank village administration for acknowledging Haitian Heritage Month in the way that they have and the way they continue to do for this month. You know, I think that diversity is our strength. So I will never back down from making sure that all in our community feel included, no matter your background, your faith, whatever. It's the point is to make sure that everybody in this community feels included and being mindful of that. Other municipalities have been doing this for years, and I thought it'd be a nice idea and a nice acknowledgement for folks in our community. So I'm very proud of that. I also know that change is hard. And it's difficult and people are fearful, and we'll get through it because we have been here for 89 years and we'll be here for hopefully another 189 years. But change is hard when we're living in 2021. We are not out to harm, take away, hurt anyone. All we are doing is acknowledging the beautiful, diverse community that we have that is called Miami Shores. No more, no less. So I do appreciate the village administration for acting on the things that we had proposed. We know that there are other issues that we must tackle, and we intend to do so with intelligence and expeditiously. So I just wanted to make note of that very quickly. And secondly, I'd like to again thank the Recreation Department because I know that they have been tirelessly putting together programs through the pandemic. And we're up on camp season, and I know you put together a great camp program. So I wanted to thank you for that on behalf of people asking me to thank you and on behalf of myself. But I do have one issue I have to share with you. It's been brought to my attention that I guess people are bringing, instead of going to our dog park, they're going to our tot lot with their doggies. So we need to send someone over, interim manager, to clean up. People aren't cleaning up after their dogs. So maybe we can have Public Works take a look at that. I went over there myself just to check it out because I got a lot of phone calls and complaints. And there was a significant amount of dog waste in the tot lot. So send someone over, please. And while you're doing that, I know that there are dog bags throughout the village. Is there a dog bag?
They shouldn't be over there.
So let's make sure it's full and just try to take care of it. But there was an inordinate amount of dog waste. So if you could look into that, that'd be great. And nothing further. Thank you. Oh, I do have one. No, I do have one more thing to say. To Mr. Perez's comments, because for the last 2 years that I've been on this council, you have made the same comment over and over again. And I empathize with you. I've made calls. I understand where you are coming from. So, interim manager, if we could look into speed enforcement along 103rd, this has been an ongoing issue in this community. Moreover, I believe 3 or 4 meetings ago, we were presented with a speeding unit. I thought we got 2 cars, it's my recollection, that were specifically put in place to help combat our speeding issues with people coming through the village and going way too fast. That's unacceptable what happened on that evening. So what I'd like somebody to come back and address us from the police department or through your office to talk about what we are actually doing to implement speeding protocols here, fighting against it, because it is an issue and it's been an ongoing issue. And I myself have been listening to it now for 2 years. I'm sure it may have been going on longer, but I'd like it to be addressed. This gentleman has been out of his way to come address this for as long as I've been sitting here. And I appreciate that you were here today. And I would like to, we've got to do something about it. I don't know if it's county street. I know we're responsible for 103rd, and I know different mechanisms have been put in place, but I thought we had a speeding unit that was specifically for this. And I know you do, but if you could find out at our next meeting, I would appreciate if someone could come talk to us about how we're going to go forth with and help resolve this issue.
Yes, it will be done.
I also want to say something about 103rd, which everybody has reached out to FDOT, the county about it, everyone, and they insist that it's an enforcement issue. And we do have enforcement problems. The police needs to ticket people, including residents. Everybody should be ticketed. And then for Park and Rec, I wanted to ask a question. Let's see, Angie. Are the dogs allowed on the field and in the tot lot? Because I see them every morning around 8 a.m. The dogs are actually in the where you play soccer field.
They're not really supposed to. It's hard to enforce. But no, they're not supposed to. But I'm wondering if at the tot lot, it's not just dog pieces. It might be iguanas because we have a really bad iguana problem.
That's bad. We do. We need an abatement program for iguanas.
No.
Yeah.
So as
we know.
As we know, we ran into some iguanas inside one of our closets today.
Oh God, I would have died.
That's his greeting.
Yeah, we don't want to encourage dogs at the tot lot or
but I will
the field.
ask Public Works to do a better sweep and look for it in the morning.
No, okay.
Yeah, we have a staff meeting in the morning, Mayor, and we'll go over all of these items.
Tickets.
And yes, tickets.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you. So first off, I also wanted to really thank staff and administration for hanging the banners and launching Pride Month. I know that there's been a lot of celebration about it, a lot of good commentary and thoughts on that. So thank you very much. With respect to the speeding issue, I think, again, that's something that we're constantly hearing. And I know that 103rd, 96th and Biscayne, there's a number of really, really active thoroughfares. It would be fantastic if we had some serious enforcement and issuing tickets for speeding and traffic violations at stop signs, people going through stop signs and traffic lights. At least during rush hours, which seems to be that during rush hour, a lot of that happening, probably all throughout the day, but rush hour is a really big time. So if we can really start to focus on some of the major ingress and egress thoroughfares in the shores, it'd be wonderful. I know that and I don't know if this is a call over to the county or something, but some of the buses that are coming down Northeast 2nd Avenue are really booking it. And I was outside having some drinks with some people. It was almost 10 o'clock at night. They're shutting down Sunday night and on Northeast 2nd Avenue. And just a bus just came plowing through, mostly empty, but it was, gonna say probably about 70 miles an hour down Northeast 2nd Avenue. It's a bit much, right? I mean, we've got between Northeast 2nd Avenue, Northeast 6th Avenue, Miami Avenue, 96th Street, Biscayne Boulevard, 103rd. We're just surrounded on those major thoroughfares with a lot of people that are really coming through. And I think it's really important we send a message that we can't be speeding.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We lost Councilmember Burke. She was trying to text me a message. I've been sitting here thinking about this, Madam Mayor. Sorry. I usually don't address social media issues, but I will this one time. I think it's important that we understand and remember that we're a community. Community. We live here together. Our kids play together. We meet each other at Starbucks. We go to the park together. And when we share things and when we speak things, and this is not in direct response to the gentleman who spoke earlier, but this is just in response to things that people screenshot, things that I see. We have to remember that we live here together. We have to remember that everybody on this day has worked really hard to get here and ask for your vote. I beg of you, give us a minute. We want to see Miami Shores better. We want to do a good job. And once you put something out there, and this is for anybody who sees this after the fact, anybody who shares or hears what I'm saying and they share it with everybody else, once you put it out there, you cannot take it back. Social media is social. When people have comments and there's things that we want to change about government, we have comments that you can submit online. People have the ability to come here. I, for one, have office hours. Everyone here has shared their emails and their phone numbers. The way that I see this pattern of behavior that's moving forward, we have to stop sowing dissension. That's just not the way that we have witnessed what this has done to this country. We have witnessed people tearing each other apart on social media, and that, for one, is not why I moved to Miami Shores. That's not why anybody moves to Miami Shores. We move here because it's beautiful, and I love my neighbors. When we are speaking to each other, we speak to each other respectfully in person. We should do that on social media as well. Just because someone wakes up and decides that they want to sow dissension, I implore you, ignore them. Because sometimes the more we feed something, the more it grows. We have no idea what people are going through. We have no idea what our neighbors have to face. And I just ask everybody, do not. Sorry, you guys, this has been a rough week for me. So let's stop it. We live here together. This is a community. It is a beautiful community. It is the dream of most people in Miami-Dade County to live here. And it's apparently the dream of most New Yorkers as well. But let's treat social media as social media. Let us not attack each other on social media. Let's not use it as a weapon. Let's not replicate what we've seen the rest of this country do for the past 6 years. That's not who we are. That's not what we're about. We're a beautiful village. And let's just rewrite how we deal with each other, guys. Like, this is not okay. Sorry for rambling, but that's all I have to say about social media. I will continue to spread peace and love and happy things on social media. If someone posts something negative, I will not address it. I will not address it today. I didn't address it yesterday, and I will not address it tomorrow. We are a smart community. I knocked on enough doors to know that this is the smartest electorate in Dade County. So when we are posting falsehoods, I believe we know they're falsehoods. When we're posting salacious things, I believe we know that they are salacious. I believe we know that they're insightful. I mean, we've had people say that they know they're being insightful. They know that they're stirring up stuff. Let's hold those people accountable. And the way that we do that is that we ignore them.
Let's not add fuel to these fires. This is a beautiful community. We have a lot to be thankful for. And if there are things about the government that you don't like the way we're doing things, please, guys, reach out to us. Everybody's entitled to share whatever they want to share socially. They're entitled to say anything that they want to say. But understand that those things have consequences. Understand that people react, and everybody isn't going to react the way that you intend for them to react. So with that, I say, let's be responsible with social media. Let's be responsible Miami Shores residents. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, we do have Councilmember Birch that was able to reconnect.
Can she hear us? Do you have any?
Councilmember Birch, can you hear us? Seems like she's frozen.
Okay. I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Enjoy your weekend.
Madam Mayor.
Yes. Yes.
I finally got back on. I just wanted to say that I caught the last little bit of Councilwoman St. Floor's comments, and I wholeheartely endorse them and appreciate them. And I'd also like to extend my sympathies to her and the loss of her grandmother, as well as just a couple of other things, which is to say, congratulations to those students. It just warmed my heart to see that phenomenal success with our school, with their attendance, and with our new executive director. And so thank you very much, everyone. I'm sorry about the antics here. It was very difficult to keep a connection, and many times it froze. So sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Birch.
All right, bye.